Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to a brand new series. This is the 5th round, my preview for the UFC 228 card that's coming up. And more importantly, the main event. It is Tyron Woodley versus Darren Till. And as you can see on the graphics, this is a fight that is very, very close. Obviously, Tyron Woodley coming up against Maia in his previous fight over a year ago now. Since then, Tyron Woodley has had a shoulder injury and was originally meant to fight the winner of Colby Covington versus RDA, the interim Welterweight Championship, the 170 pound division. And unfortunately, Colby Covington did win that. He's the biggest asshole in UFC at the moment. But he got an injury with his nose and had to pull out of the fight. So this brings Liverpudlian Darren Till, one of the uprising stars of the UFC at the moment, especially in that welterweight division, which is becoming a force now with the likes of Usman. Got RDA still in there. You've got some big names, Colby Covington too, who I'm sure will want the winner of this fight to come the end of Saturday. So yes, we're going to start off with the champion, Tyron the Chosen One Woodley. Now, he's on his 4th title defence and he's coming into this with an empty stop out compared to his challenger Darren Till, who's fought 3 times in the past 12 months. So yes, I am a big fan of Tyron Woodley. I think he's very much a person who's not misunderstood by the UFC community. He does pick up a lot of stick by himself. If I related it to football, my other passion, it would be very much a Jose Mourinho. He's definitely someone who looks at the opponent's strengths and tries to nullify them and then bring in his own strength through that. And that was definitely portrayed in the Damian Maia fight, where he pretty much nullified the takedown of Damian Maia, which was the big sort of worry in that contest. Now that did bring a lot of stick, but at the same time you have to commend a champion who's really defending his title. And at that point, you know, as a challenger, you're looking at the champion's sort of criticisms and their weaknesses, and you're really proving that your strengths are worthy of being champion. Whereas as a champion, you don't really get to, you don't get to call someone out unless it's a big money fight. You're sitting at the top of the tree with everyone looking up at you, ready to take your head off, really. Now, really, Darren Till, if we move on to the challenger, that is, from his last fight against Stephen Thompson, which is obviously a person and a fighter that Tyron Woodley is very familiar with, obviously with the draw in UFC 205, then the rematch a couple months down the line, who Darren Till didn't exactly wipe the floor with. It was a very tight contest. It could have gone either way. It was given to a Darren Till win, and he even said after the fight that he's not really in the contention for the title match. Of course, we had the interim title contention, but things happened and Darren Till's found himself in that #1 spot up against Tyron Woodley, of course. Tyron Woodley has not faced anyone like Darren Till as of yet as a champion, of course. I don't think Stephen Thompson poses the threats that Darren Till does. Darren Till, you see in the press conference they had, was, inches taller than Woodley, and looked like he should be in a different weight class almost, as a 185 pounder or 205. Tyron Woodley's very short, but he's got the power, he's got the explosiveness that person of his size could really do some damage to Darren Till. But at the same time, if Darren Till catches him, it could be night-night for Tyron Woodley. So for me, this is a very good match. It's a matchup of it's a matchup of almost the old dog coming up against the new rising star in a way. Now, I'm not saying Tyron Woodley's coming towards the end of his career, but I think he very much realises Darren Till was in the situation he was in when he came up against Robbie Lawler for the championship, two years ago now. So for a prediction, this one is very hard to fight. Part of me says there's definitely going to be a knockout, but the other side of me says be smart, this could go to a decision. Now if it does go to a decision, I think Tyron Woodley has had an excellent fight, a pinpoint effort, and would remain as champion. If it doesn't make the 5th round or the end of the fight, I think Darren Till probably has knocked him out or made him tap. So for me, as a prediction, it's really hard to not like Darren Till as an Englishman. Of course, we had Bisping as the last champion who lost against GSP, and since then he's retired, so we've not really had a pinpoint person in British MMA. So Darren Till has more or less picked up the mantle where it was left off. So I want him to do well for Britain, but at the same time he is from Liverpool, so I don't want him to do too well. So, and I do like Tyron Woodley. So on that front, It's one where I won't be too sad who wins or who loses, but I don't think this is going to be the end of Tyron Woodley or Darren Till. I think if Darren Till wins, there's going to be a rematch potentially, and he's still a very young person within the sport, so he's going to have another 2 or 3 title chances easily, I'd imagine, especially with his talent. Now, as I said earlier, Colby Covington is also the person who I'd imagine is also on the fringes once he's back to full fitness. So I'm going to say that Tyron Woodley, you know what, let's back the Brit. We're going to go for Darren Till victory inside the 3rd round by TKO or KO, and he's going to bring the title back to England. But Tyron Woodley, I have a lot of respect for the guy, and UFC 228 is going to be a good card. Now, it's been overshadowed a bit by the future card, and this is really why I wanted to do the series. Of course, Conor McGregor returning, so I will be previewing that in the 2nd episode of this show, the 5th round. So, please drop a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on Cage Chat.
We have all the makings of a championship classic.
An excellent fight between 2 of the very best.
The stakes get bigger. 2 belts on the line.
I do it for the glory. He is a freak of nature.
English superstar Darren Till. I will win that belt.
Valentina Shevchenko. That is a scary woman.
Nico Montano has star power to go with a lot of skill.
It's about to go down.